Hello and welcome to Signing Social, Unit 1, Lesson 5. We are 2 classes away from being done with this unit. So if you made it this far to each class, you have gotten yourself a certificate. That doesn't mean stop coming. If you haven't made all 5 classes, you have 2 more classes to get that prerequisite or requisite, whatever, requirement for getting 5 classes in attendance in order to qualify for a certificate. But anyways, in lesson 5, we are going to learn about some more interrogatives and also about people, especially family. So without further ado, first interrogative, who? Take an L next to your chin and then just kind of make your index finger, wiggle your index finger so you can say, who's that? Or who are you? It's a good interrogative. Where? You take an index finger and just back and forth. And at work, people see me saying this a lot about my keys. So where are my keys? Next is what? Open hand, index finger with your dominant hand, and you're just going to strike down. What? So you can say, what's that? But you don't say what when you want someone to repeat something, because that is considered pretty rude. Instead, of course, you would sign again or repeat. So what, as in what's that, or what is this? And speaking of this and that and all that, we have 2 location pronouns. And so here, just point here, and then there, just point to wherever it is that you want there to be. So you can say there, 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 whatever. So you have who, where, what, here, there. Next up we have is man. So first people sign, take 2 P's, and you can do a circle for people. And if you just want one person, you just go straight down with both your P's. So people, person. And the first person we'll discuss is man. I know Eve came first, but here we are. So take a 5, and you're going to tap your thumb against your forehead and your chest. So man, and then woman, tap the chin to the chest. So woman. In ASL, everything above the nose is going to be masculine, and everything below the nose is going to be feminine. So to keep that in mind, you really only have to memorize one sign in a lot of instances, and just assign the gender to it. As far as gender neutral, transgender, unfortunately ASL has not quite caught up yet, so there isn't a gender neutral sign for a person except a person. So I apologize, and I hope my peeps catch up soon. But in the meantime, we have boy. So just take a hand like this, and it's like you're adjusting your baseball cap, because boys wear baseball caps a lot. So boy, and then girl, take thumb, and you're going to trace your jawline. This is how old this language is. Way back in the day, girls had bonnets, wore bonnets, and so the thumb is tracing the bonnet strap. Yes, ASL is hundreds of years old. So boy, girl, man, woman, people, person. After that, we have 3 ways of identifying someone in the deaf culture world. First one is a person is hearing, and so you take your index finger and roll, because again, ASL is hundreds of years old. So way back in the day, before anyone discovered that deaf people can be taught to speak, deaf people would see people speaking, and so they would know, oh, that person is hearing, or in their interpretation, that person's speaking, so that means they can hear. So hearing. And then if you're kind of in between hearing and deaf, you're hard of hearing. So take an H and bounce twice for hard of hearing. Hard of hearing. And then if you're deaf, you're going to tap your chin and your ear, because again, way back in the day, before anyone realized that a deaf person can be taught how to speak, it was they can't speak and they can't hear. We've just never updated it for whatever reason, so deaf. Hearing, hard of hearing, deaf. So moving into family, you can take two F's and you're going to make a horizontal circle for family. And you can have a small family or you can have a huge family, but family. And at the top of the family, of course, is the patriarch, grandfather. You're going to take a 5 and put your hand against your forehead, and then you're going to bounce twice. So grandfather, because he's one parent removed from you, so one parent and then that's him. So great grandfather is just bounce 3 times, and then forefathers, you can bounce as many times as you want to, really. And of course grandmother, following the masculine feminine rule, is going to be grandmother, and under them is going to be father, and so you just tap your forehead right here. Some people tap their forehead, other people will wiggle their fingers. So father, father, and then you have mother, mother. And that's mom, mum, mummy, whatever the interpretation is. But the formal word would be mother. So with that, we have grandson and granddaughter. It's going to be, you actually have to spell out grand, but you can kind of cheat a little bit and then of having G and then roll into D. So G, grand, and it's just a fast spell, so grand. And then you have the sign for son. You have forehead to hear a baby, because that's your baby, your child. So you have grandson, and then you have granddaughter. So now you know the sign for son and daughter. Pretty easy. After that, we have siblings. So you're going to have a brother, 2 index finger. Dominant hand is going to tap next to the forehead and come back down, like true, same kind of implication. Although I think I was better than my brother, but anyways, brother, and then next to the jaw is going to be sister. So brother, sister. And then we go into the extended family. So we have an uncle, you have you, and it's going to be next to the head. It's just going to do a little circle for uncle. And then aunt is going to be next to the jaw with an A, aunt. And then you have cousins. In ASL, cousins are split between male and female, so you're not going to have cousin, a gender-neutral cousin like you do in English, where you say, I have 2 cousins, and you're like, are they boys or girls? 1 boy, 1 girl, what's going on? It's male cousin, female cousin with a C. So cousin, cousin. And then the same with niece and nephew. You take an N, and you have nephew and niece. So uncle, aunt, boy cousin, girl cousin, nephew, and niece. And that is your entire family, and that is it for lesson 5. So I hope this helped, and I will see you all in lesson 6. Please sign happy.